Hi there, and welcome to this overview on the new meal patterns for K-12 food service. We're going to start with the Healthy Hunger-Free Kids Act of 2010. This law enacted the new menu planning rules that went into effect with the 2012 school year. Now these changes are still new to everyone involved, so there are still lots of questions that come up when trying to configure and use the software. Now to help answer those questions about the software, it becomes very helpful to first understand the basic rules involved with menu planning. Well, let's start with that. What is menu planning? Well, don't overthink it. It's simply the method you use to plan your menus. See, menus have to be planned in advance to ensure compliancy with USDA standards. But it's not just a matter of determining how many calories are being provided by those menus, it's also a matter of where those calories are coming from. The old way of doing this was through nutrient-based menu planning. Now this method was based on nutrient standards, values established by the recommended daily allowance and dietary guidelines for Americans. There are various vitamins and minerals necessary for growth and metabolism for people of different ages, including students. We're talking about vitamin A, vitamin C, calcium, iron, fat, saturated fat, sodium, protein, etc. It might help to picture the nutrition labels you see on most food items at the store. The new way of planning menus goes back to a food-based approach, where the focus is not necessarily on individual vitamins and minerals, but overall types of foods to provide a varied but balanced combination of different foods. With the new meal patterns, there is still a need to track calories along with levels of sodium and saturated fat. Starting in the 2012 school year, lunch menus are required to use food-based menu planning. To help focus efforts on one thing at a time, breakfast menus can still use nutrient-based, but starting in the 2013 school year, both lunch and breakfast will have to use the food-based method of menu planning. Now in food-based menu planning, there are 5 main types of foods that we call food components. There's fruit, vegetables, meat or meat alternates, grains, and fluid milk. Now notice that we specifically say fluid milk because in K-12 food service, only milk is milk. See, other dairy products like yogurt and cheese are actually meat alternates, and like meat, they're also a good source of protein. So let's talk about meal patterns, also known as the rules. Meal patterns are a set of food components, food items, and minimum quantities required for a breakfast or lunch for a specific age group of children. Now the age groups involve grades kindergarten through the 5th grade, 6th through 8th grade, and high schools, grades 9 through 12. Some schools need to accommodate other scenarios such as K through 8, but these are the 3 main age groups that we'll be focusing on. For each age group, there is a specific range of calories and daily minimums for the food components that must be met. Again, there are also limits placed on the amount of sodium and saturated fat provided by the menu. Trans fat is banned except for some naturally occurring trans fats. The new meal patterns also require flavored milk, like chocolate and strawberry milk, to be fat-free. Unflavored milk can be fat-free or low-fat. There's also a gradual move to whole grains. So in the 2012 school year, half of all grains offered on the lunch menu must be whole grain. This will be expanded to include breakfast so that starting in the 2014 school year, all grains offered for breakfast and lunch will need to be whole grain. In previous years, fruits and vegetables were all lumped together into the same category, but to encourage healthier eating habits, the new meal patterns now use separate components for fruits and vegetables, and the menus have to offer a daily serving of each one. See, before now, a vegetable was just a vegetable. It grows in the ground, so it must be a vegetable, right? Well, vegetables are now further divided into different subclasses. There are weekly requirements for dark green, red, orange, beans, peas, legumes, starchy vegetables, and other vegetables. So it's no longer enough to just offer vegetables. You also need to offer a variety of vegetables during the week. Finally, we need to talk about offer versus serve, or OVS. Offer versus serve is about individual meals qualifying for reimbursement, but it's closely related to menu planning and can cause some confusion with the new meal patterns. Offer versus serve recognizes the fact that just because you put something on a student's plate, it doesn't necessarily mean they're actually going to eat it. So to help reduce waste while still encouraging students to eat a variety of foods, the district must offer different food components. Now each student must then select or be served a minimum number of components in order for the district to receive some reimbursement for the cost of that meal. Offer versus serve is required for high schools, grades 9 through 12. It's optional for the lower grades. Additional lessons will show how the software is accommodating the latest regulation changes and trends. In the meantime, we encourage you to learn more about the new meal patterns and offer versus serve. Thanks for learning.